You know, as you get started, there you go. The day starts as you get started. So we sun as much as possible, but also when we open our eyes too, that's when the day gets started. So I'm gonna just get really right into it. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all know we outside. Y'all know we outside. Y'all know we outside with it. Y'all know we outside with it. Y'all know we outside with it. They pale, I know. But y'all know we outside with it. Y'all know we outside with it. Look like it hurt. Grand Rising Reflections. You know we outside with it. You know we outside with it. Reflections. Y'all know we outside with it. Grand Rising. Y'all know we outside with it. So I'm gonna just get right to it for real, for real. I don't mind how many people it is. That never mattered to me. You know, you got to stay consistent regardless of the results, regardless of who's watching. You got to believe that you're doing something that's worthwhile, you know? You got to believe that the effort that you're putting in is exactly what you're getting. So, hold on. Is my mic not on? All right, boom. There we go. Now we rocking and rolling. Now we rocking and rolling. Grand Rising, what I'm on? Life. Trying to overdose on it currently. So I'm gonna just jump right into my topic, especially for the people that's gonna be watching the live back. Ah, so the more thought of the day is, who are you listening to, right? Who is it that we are listening to as we arise, you know, and we open our eyes? Because when we open our eyes, there's thoughts that immediately flood our brain. We start getting flooded with all this information. Who is it that we're giving our attention to? Do you know? Do you notice? Make sure I like, comment, share, subscribe. You know, I'm we the biggest, trying to be as more consistent as possible. You know, um, but we deal with each other. Y'all see what I got in my hand today, right? We got that good book. We got that good. So I take a look at this good book. But before we do that, I think it's good that I talk about what's really on my mind, because as we wake in the morning, like I said, just we get flooded with so many different thoughts of what we're supposed to do today, where we're supposed to go. We astral travel our physical. I mean, we astral travel our minds before our day even gets started, and we do it really at our own detriment. It's not good to immediately allow your mind to leave right now, especially as you wake up. It's not good for you to do that. It's not good for you to do that. I'm gonna tell you why it's not good for you to do that. It's not good for you to do that because you need to ground yourself first. You have to ground yourself into the reality that you want to create. What does that mean? You got to be present at all times, especially when you open your mind. I mean, when you open your eyes up. I'm gonna give y'all a reason why y'all should stay present in uh in the morning. I don't like to say that word morning, but y'all need. I'm gonna let y'all know why you should stay present when you open your eyes in the morning. The reason you should stay present is because that's when this 3D world tries to bombard you with information, bombard you with the stresses of life, bombard you with the reality of whatever situations you're dealing with. For me, for example, I open my eyes. The first thing I do is I usually check the time, because I got multiple phones. So I check my business phone, I'll check my personal phone. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. So I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Y'all see that new light flying around? I know y'all just saw that. We in sync right now, y'all. I know y'all saw that. All right. I'm gonna tell y'all what I woke up to this morning. I woke up to this morning, um, a quote unquote supposed supporter of mine, giving me a long message under one of my videos, in relation to one of the episodes that I just did, um, where I basically did a episode of my first day of meeting Unc. Not basically, that's what I did. I did an episode of meeting Unc, and in that, she said, um, "You're already giving out all this with only 1,000 subscribers." Uh, she might be watching this right now. You're only doing this with 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to stay tuned, but this information is so repetitive. It's getting repetitive. Uh, keep it simple and talk about other stuff with love. People always say stuff like acting like they telling you stuff with love, like acting like they doing you a favor, acting like they doing something for you, acting like if they were in your position, they would do it like this. Um, People are people, man. And I'm not gonna sit here and bash that lady, because I do think that she thinks that she was coming to me in love. But this is my opinion to that, and this is my opinion for anybody else that got opinions about anything that I'm doing. Keep it for yourself. In this journey, y'all hear me all the time. She obviously doesn't watch any of my content, because if she did, she would understand that her opinion to me, I have to take with the smallest grain of salt. Um, Not saying that you can't take constructive criticism. Hold on, guys. I'll get to y'all comments in a second. Grand Rising. Not saying that you can't take constructive criticism, or that you can't have life spoken into you, or even that you can't tweak and finesse things to make it better. Uh, while you do that, you see how that life flies around as we talk. That's how you know we're in sync, right? Nature will always let you know if you're in sync. But anyways, not saying that. Right, we use a spirit of discernment, right? Not saying that people can't speak life into you, not saying that uh, you know, you can't look at it from someone else's perspective. But for the most part, man, go with your move. I know y'all heard me make that video before too. You go with your move, and your move is always the best move. Now, if it's right or wrong, you'll find out later. But your move is always the best move, and that's what we know. Let me read a couple comments. Hey, you good? Now it's off. You good? Keep pushing the message the way you want, Solar. Hey, respect and love, bro. I appreciate that. But I'm just saying, to my earlier point, I woke up and the first thing that I digested this rising was that. The first thing that I digested this rising was that. That was the very first thing that I digested. Her telling me something that she took time to write, and it was a very lengthy paragraph. I since deleted it from my page. I didn't have the patience to leave it up, because it might incite some type of rhetoric. And usually I leave everything up on my page, but that particular thing, it irritated me to a point of, um, it frustrated me. The first thing I woke up to was that. The very first thing I woke up to was that. And that's my fault. It's my fault that I digested the outside world before I got me together. That's my point to tell y'all this, Rising. It's my fault for digesting the outside world before I got me together. I can't blame anybody else but me for that. That's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. Now, is what she's saying have some credence? Um, the more and more I think about every in all comments, the more and more I have to weigh all possibilities. What's old and repetitive for her is new for some of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I have a new channel. So if I listen to these people and I do what they want me to do, the ones that again they really want to be in your position, they want to be in your body, they want it to be them, but instead it's you. So they want to control and dictate everything you do. Um, I wouldn't be Solar Man. I would be everybody man. you know, I wouldn't be Solar Man. I would be everybody man. I appreciate that, Mrs. Cover. Yeah, but I'm just giving you an example of that what you're listening to and what you digest is extremely important, especially as you are aware that you are the creator of your universe. I am the creator of my universe. So who I'm listening to is extremely important, and it's imperative that I pay close attention to that, because my whole day will be shaped off of my first original thoughts. You understand? So since my whole day is shaped off of my first original thoughts, as I open my eyes and as I stretch out and as I get ready to go into the world, I got to pay close attention to what I'm consuming physically, spiritually, and otherwise. You know what I mean? So that's why I got this word out today, because I read something interesting before I came out here. Um, we take this word, right? And in the word it says, where two or more are gathered in my name, there I shall be. So we are the church. We are the church. We It's Saturday too, so we gonna do a little church. So I'm gonna go to the book of Nehemiah, and I believe it has something to do with what I've just said. I'm gonna go read one verse for y'all. Nehemiah chapter 5. So the title of the chapter is called Nehemiah Helps the Poor. So just a little brief background. Uh, Nehemiah is an Israelite. This is after the fall of Israel that Nehemiah is living in, you know, Babylon, modern day USA. So Nehemiah is living in modern day USA after Judah and Israel, the tribes have all been scattered amongst the earth. So we've already scattered it's already it's already we already like we are now. But then, you but it happened more recent then. So we already scattered amongst the nations. We already living in exile, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Nehemiah was living with the king. He was a cupbearer to the king. He was the king's right hand man. He was the king's assistant. The king loved this man as if he was his own. We see this in these stories a lot, how these people come from these humble beginnings, and they rise to the highest positions in the land because we were always meant to be right next to the Father. We were always meant to do something spectacular. So anyways, Nehemiah is uh the right hand of the king, and Nehemiah, his spirit gets he starts looking at he sees his life, he sees that he has a good life, but he starts looking at his people, and he knows that the Lord, that God, charged him with rebuilding the temple, with rebuilding up his people's homeland. He was charged to do that. Some of you are charged with rebuilding your bloodline, with rebuilding your home, with being the spark in your community. Some of you people are charged with doing that. Some of you people we have the same duty as Nehemiah to rebuild our homes because it's been destroyed by all this lowly 3D level bullcrap. So I digress. Nehemiah sees the position and the plight of his people, and he knows that he's now in a position of authority and power to help. So he comes from up high and returns down low, returns back to the kingdom so he can help. But wait, you think it's all just gravy and it's all just good for him when he returns? No, 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 no. It's not all good. It's not all gravy, because when he returns home, not only does he have to return to a war-infested area. Remember, his homeland has been overtaken by thieves and by scoundrels and by people who false claim and act like nothing happened. Same thing you see today. His homeland has been overrun with rodents. It's dilapidated. Everything is broken down. It looks nothing like and again, Nehemiah had been away for centuries as well. So he's not even sure, he's not even really sure what it looks like. He's only heard stories. But because of a fixation and a fixation of keeping his eyes and his thoughts on the Lord, on his creator, on his divine connection, through fixation and through vindication, because now his heart got moved to do something. Have you guys ever been moved to do something? That's because you have a direct connection with your creator. So he was moved to go rebuild his homeland. But again, nothing was like it was supposed to be. Nothing that we do in this life is like it's supposed to be. Everything is broken down around us. Society is crumbling around us. Society is crumbling around me as I decide to make my YouTube channel. Hey, what's up, guys? Grand Rise. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. There's nothing that's stable around me. The only thing that can be stable is my direct connection with my creator. And it's up to me to listen when I get a download and to move on that. So what are you talking about, Solar? Um, for me, I'll just use me for an example, right? For me, as an example, I got a vindication in my spirit to move and to rebuild our temple. I'm not the only one doing the work. However, I've gotten information from up high. I seen how people with money move. I'm getting a couple of dollars in my pocket myself. So the Lord, my God, has charged me in my position with rebuilding the temple. Don't mean my mission is more important than yours or less important than yours. I'm telling y'all, my mission is to rebuild the temple and to challenge the wickedness and the spirits that labor amongst us in our community. I'm not the only one doing the work. I'm just telling y'all that's my position. So let me read to y'all. Now that y'all got a little background on what Nehemiah has to deal with, Nehemiah again has to deal with complete opposition to rebuilding his homeland. Meaning, when he gets there, even though he got some money on him, he got some resources on him. Even though you might have some resources, you might not have some resources, whatever the case may be, he still ran into haters. That's all he ran into. For years, he ran into haters. People who just wanted him to do things the way they wanted him to do things. People who didn't want him to do nothing at all. That's why, if you ever get a chance to read the book of Nehemiah, I highly suggest you do, because it's talking about us. If you ever get a chance to read Nehemiah, that's why when they go back to rebuild the temple, they were met with such opposition and hatred from outsiders who had moved into their homeland that they had to walk around. One hand had a shovel, the other hand had a sword. One hand had a shovel, the other hand had a switch. They had to walk around like this because their environment was so hostile. Have you guys looked around our environments lately? Don't we have hostile environments? Isn't it in our communities how we are supposed to live in these lowly communities, but even these lowly communities are now getting bought out and renovated and turned into they call it gentrification. Don't you see? I see that. You're not welcomed anywhere. Don't you see that? I sure do. So I say all that to say, if I'm to listen to anybody, I better be listening to myself first. Otherwise, my thoughts, my vindication of spirit can get thwarted, can get moved out of place. I allowed somebody else into my own mind. I appreciate your understanding. Right. She said is respective, but her life probably is repetitive, but her life is probably repetitive. Needs to take her own advice and apply it to her life. Right, AJ? Right on, right on. Yeah, again, I'm not here to I know y'all be hearing me, I be snapping on people and stuff like that, but I be using the spirit of discernment when I do it. Again, the Lord gives me a sharp sword. Jesus, I know y'all heard Unc talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it a little bit too. Jesus wasn't a nice guy. He was a sweet man. He wasn't a nice guy, you know. So he had to snap sometimes because people don't understand no other way. He used the spirit. He used the spirit of discernment to handle his business. Um, with that lady in particular, as I got that message this morning, there was a spirit that moved in her to write that, and she thought she was doing something. That's why she said with love. I There was a spirit moving in her. That's why she did that and said with love. And the reason that I saw it first thing in the morning is because that same spirit that was operating in her wanted me to see that in the morning, and it did, and it worked because I did not cover. I didn't put on my full armor of protection. I didn't put on my helmet of salvation. Right. Right. I didn't put on my helmet of salvation. We can talk about a little bit more what that is. You got to cover yourselves every single day, guys. But anyways, I didn't put on my helmet of salvation to protect me from everything, because it's not just when you leave your bedroom that you got to prepare for the world. Sometimes you got to prepare for the world as soon as you open your eyes. Now, to that lady and anybody else, because I've had some people that comment that I never see them comment. Um, that lady obviously doesn't watch my content. Because if she did, she would see that I talk about a lot of different things. And she probably didn't watch those videos because those videos didn't go up or they didn't spark controversy enough for her eyes. And that's her fault. But again, I live my full transparency to show you guys, to show those coming that was good with it, to show that you guys coming, that if you live for other people's approval, you will never be satisfied and you will never have true peace. Because if I'm listening to the comments, you know, no offense to anyone here, but you know what you want over what I should do or what I should be saying, what I shouldn't be saying. You know what I mean? You people don't know what you want. Why would I listen to you? And if she watched my content actually, like she said, then she would know that I do not value her opinion in relation to what I say. She would know that. She does not watch my content. She only watches what she selectively wants to watch, and that's the problem. It's not her problem. That's just their problem, and that's too bad. Because when y'all tell me not to do something, yeah, man, I'm slow. I'm gonna go do it. So now I got to make episode 2 today. And I'll be darned if I listen to somebody who's not doing what I want to do in life. I don't want to be like nobody in this life. You guys saw my other videos. You guys should be like this too. You should only want to be like the highest version of yourself. That's it. So, I said I was going to read that Nehemiah. So, Nehemiah chapter 5 is entitled Nehemiah Helps the Poor. Who are the poor? The poor aren't just people who are financially uh, 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 lacking. The poor are the poorly in spirit, the poorly in their minds. They have low willpower. Some of us are poor because we might have a lot of money in our bank account. We might have or be comfortable. We might have the house we want. We might have the husband that looks good, the wife that looks good, the kids that look good, the house that looks good. I already said that. The car that looks good. But we are lowly in spirit because we're being pulled every single which way, and we don't have a direct connection with the Creator. That makes you poor. If you do not have a direct connection with the Creator and you don't hear the Creator yourself for yourself, you are poor. And this is the fact in the case with a lot of us. We are poor. One of my viral videos